what a lovely little baby. Oh, you're both so lucky to have such a lovely little baby. And she's just like his father, too. Guess who?
Don't be so bloody stupid. Thank you very much and good evening and welcome to the show. I'd like to start the show tonight with a little bit of advice for the ladies who have husbands who return home very late at night. I'd advise you not to nag them. Don't moan and make inquiries. Where have you been? Where have you been out? What have you been doing? Ignore it all. Don't mention it. Don't bring it up. Act like it's never happened. And I'll guarantee in a couple of weeks he'll be coming home early to find out what's missing. The little lady goes to the priest in Ireland. She said, Father, she said, I'm thinking of getting married. What should I get married in? He says, clothes. She said, but what sort of clothes? He said, well, if you've never committed a sin in your life, you get married in white. If you've committed a sin, you get married in blue. She said, I'm getting married in white. He said, that's very good. She said, with little blue dots. I don't know if you've ever been drinking in Dublin, but in Dublin we have what we call snug bars. The little snug bars. You close the door, you get in, and you two or three of you. It's complete privacy. It's rather like a confessional box. It is. You're in there, and you can have complete, and you just knock on a little thing on the slide there, and the barman's there, and he said, what do you want? And you have your drinks, and he closes it, and nobody can see you, or get at you. And you get an old lady who goes to confession. And she's in the confessional box, and there's an awful lot going on the other side, so she nods off and goes to sleep. And after about 20 minutes, the priest slides back the little door, and he said, what do you want? She said, I'll have 2 glasses of sherry, please. And the other one who goes to the confession, and she says, Father, you know you told me if I did things I shouldn't do, I'd go deaf. And the priest says, what? You get the other woman in Ireland on a bus, and a friend says, are you taking to wearing the topless dress now, Mary? She said, God, what have I done with the baby? And the fellow goes up to the fellow and he says, will you buy a ticket for the raffle? He said, what's it for? He said, Widow Murphy. He said, what the hell would I do with Widow Murphy? The other one, cremation is not a very well-known thing in Ireland. We don't do our burning on life. We do it later on. But there's one old lady has got the ashes of her great-grandfather on the mantelpiece in an honoured place. And she's a terribly fastidious woman. And the husband likes to smoke, and she's always saying, don't put the ashes on the floor there. Look what you're doing. Look at it. You're covered the carpet there with the ashes. You're a filthy beast. So he gets very sneaky about the ashes. And he lifts the little urn. And after about 3 months, she's cleaning the place out, and she lifts up the urn. And she said, oh, God, you're putting on weight. A little fellow walking into a bar, and standing outside is a nun. And she looks at him, and she says, before you enter this den of iniquity, think of your mother and your father. He said, they're dead. They're dead in heaven. She said, well, think of the damage the alcohol is going to do to your brain. What? What are you talking about? Have you ever had a drink? And the nun says, no. He said, well, how the hell can you stand there talking about it and saying drink is going to do damage to your brain if you've never had it? I'll tell you what. I'll go in, get your drink, bring it out, give it to you. You drink it. If you don't like it, then you can talk about it. But don't talk about things you've never experienced. What'll you have? And the nun says, I don't know. What do ladies generally drink? He says, gin. She says, all right, I'll have a gin. But get it in a cup so nobody will notice. The fellow goes into the bar and he says, give us a pint of beer and a double gin in a cup. And the fellow says, is that bloody nun out there again? You know something which plays a very important part in our life is the law. And we have the law, I suppose, basically to protect us against people who break the law. And if we didn't have the law, they couldn't break the law. So we wouldn't need protection against people who break the law. For example, you get the fellow in the court, and the judge says, how do you plead? And he said, as God is my judge, I have not committed this crime. And the judge said, he is not, I am, and you are. You know, there are basically some very strange laws in this country. As a matter of interest, we looked up some laws, you know, and up to 1970, the only person, and I mean this very sincerely, the only person who could hunt sturgeon, whale, dolphin, or porpoise was the Queen. She was the only person allowed to hunt those. Can you imagine that? Philip up in the crow's nest, and the Queen with a harpoon on the bow, and he goes, there she blows, Liz! Boom! Ladies in Scotland wearing skirts are not allowed to climb ladders. They can take it off and go up the ladder if they want. You are not, in this country, allowed to swear in any royal park. Imagine that. You're in the middle of Richmond Park. You trip over and bang your knee. You run helter-skelter 3 miles to the gate and you go, Nicky! There is a law in existence. You know, today, in Northamptonshire, if you are found messing about, and I don't actually know what that means, but it is the law, if you are found messing about on the River Nene, you can be sentenced to life imprisonment or 7 years in Australia. Let me remind you that 7 years in Australia is equal to 3 life imprisonments anywhere. Because I was out there. I tell a story of the Prime Minister of Australia who died and went to heaven. And St. Peter said, who are you? He said, I'm the Prime Minister of Australia. He said, well, you'll have to prove that to me. He said, how the bleeding hell can I prove to you that I'm the bleeding Prime Minister of bleeding Australia? St. Peter said, you just did. Somebody once said to me, actually, you remind me of justice. And I said, how do you mean? He said, well, you should not only be done, but you should be seen to be done.
You have been found guilty as charged of a very extremely heinous crime. Before I sentence you, do you have anything to say?
You won't hold me in this rotten, stinking jail, you won't! I haven't done anything, all I done was stole a lousy little loaf!
You are guilty. I sentence you to 10 years hard labor. Jailer, take him below.
It's an injustice! You won't hold me! You won't hold me, you won't!
You go away.
Shoot me. You won't hold me for 10 years.
another 5 years for trying to escape.
There is an expression which people say that taking the law into your own hands, and that does not mean walking into a high court, picking up a judge, and throwing them out of a window, because he might land on a policeman. And that would be the law being broken by the law. But there's a story about a fellow in Ireland who was a poacher. He loved to poach. And he's out, and he gets a brace of pheasants, and he's delighted. He slings them over the shoulder. And he's walking home. And the gamekeeper steps behind a tree, and he said, "I got you! You been poaching?" And the fellow said, "What? Huh? What?" He said, "You've been poaching? I've been after you for years, and now I have got you." He said, "What do you mean, poaching? I'm just taking a walk in the woods." He said, "What's that on your shoulder?" And the fellow goes, But there are people who, for many different reasons, decide to take the law into their own hands.
Sit down, dearie, and cross my palm with silver. What a nice, strong pair of hands. It shows you have a forceful personality. Oh, and you're lucky, too. Your wealth line shows you're about to come into money.
It's all right, sir. You can come out now. Your wife's gone. Every day.
I have a hair from the head of the Prime Minister. I put it round the neck of this rag doll, and this figure becomes the Prime Minister. I then stick pins in him. Here. Here. Here.
As you suggested, Prime Minister, I shall run through the trade figures for last month again. Now, as you will remember... Good heavens, Prime Minister. All right.
Members of the jury, have you reached your... Will you follow me, please?
I suppose the most basic of all laws is the law of God. It's precise, it's sharp, it's to the point. Break it, and you'll burn in hell. Where there is a great wailing and weeping and gnashing of teeth. The thing I've never been able to figure out is, with all that weeping, why they haven't put the flames out years ago. Medical science actually tells us that with all the soft foods we eat, we'll eventually have no teeth. And what's going to happen in hell? There'll be a wailing and a weeping and a rubbing of gums. It's a nice thought, isn't it? But hell, actually, you know, they tell you that hell, I've been there, it's not. It's not all flames and all that. There's no flames. Everybody in hell is up to the bottom lip in muck and mire, liquid filth. And everything is very calm. And the only words you'll ever hear spoken in hell are, do not make waves. And on Saturday, Satan goes water skiing. Little fella dies and goes to heaven, and some people say, would you like to have a look around heaven? And yeah, I would actually. So they're looking around heaven. And he said, who are those people over there? He said, they are the Muslims. They are Muslims there. And over there we have the Jewish people. And these are Anglicans and Hindus, Baptists. He said, why do you have this big wall here? He said, behind the wall, you see, we have the Catholics. He said, why do you have the Catholics behind the wall? He said, shh. They like to think that they're the only ones here. As we say, back to the law of God. The law of God. God, like any good law-abiding citizen, does not like to see his laws broken, and he will punish the person who does it in whatever way he likes to.
Bless me, Father. It's 5 years since my last confession.
And I say unto you that ye are all sinners. O Lord, the evildoers have transgressed thy law. They have brought the wrath of thy most awful majesty down upon themselves. Lord, as a demonstration of thy might and power, show these sinners a mark of thy displeasure. Strike down the evildoers and the breakers of thy law.
What have you to confess? I can't possibly give you absolution on that. I'll have to take this to a higher authority. Excuse me.
Halt! I claim the sanctuary of the Holy Mother Church. Nobody, nothing can harm me here. My regards to your master.
Superstitious fools. I suppose one of the most law-abiding countries in the world is England. But you're not only a very law-abiding society, you're a very superstitious society. There are more superstitions in this country than anywhere else in the world. Do you know that there are hundreds of people in this country who will not christen their child Agnes because they believe that any child who is christened Agnes will become mad? Can you imagine having a blind date with somebody called Agnes? And she's standing there going, good evening, Agnes. And there is a superstition in this country that if you tickle the toes of a baby, he will stutter. Are you surprised? Can you imagine a little baby lying there and somebody's tickling his and he's going and somebody said, why did you stutter? He said, Daddy, The lovely superstition is that if a girl steps over a broom, she will be a mother before she is a wife. And all I can say, looking around the world today, there's an awful lot of brooms lying around. And you know that if a man and a woman pour tea together, they'll have a baby. I'll stick to the old way. And if you've got jaundice, do you know how to get rid of it? 2 slices of bread and butter, 9 live lice, and eat it. You get rid of the jaundice, but you die of food poisoning. And if you're going bald, all you got to do is go and get 2 handfuls of goose dung. Superstitious people believe this. Go and get 2 handfuls of goose dung and rub it into the bald patch. And you'll grow your hair. But you'll be the loneliest, smelliest man in the world. Personally, I am not a superstitious person. I don't believe in superstitions. Any wood about here? But I'm a believer in not interfering, you see. I don't know, and I don't really care, but I wonder about superstition. I might just be wrong.
Lot 23, ladies and gentlemen, the Makati diamond, the illustrated lot. This is the 3rd largest cut diamond in the world, and is reputed to have been stolen from a statue of the Indian goddess Shiva. And before I start the bidding, perhaps I should warn you, there is supposed to be a curse laid upon this diamond, though what form the curse takes, we're not quite sure. Now, will somebody please start the bidding at £300,000? 300. Thank you, sir. £300,000. 300,000. £350,000. £350,000. £350,000. £400,000. £400,000. £450,000. £450,000. Are you bidding, madam? £500,000. £500,000. £525,000. £525,000. £550,000. Going for £550,000. Are you all done? £550,000 sold to the pig in the front row.
so we say farewell to the great Marvel, a man who entertained millions of people with his magical feats. And I'm sure you'll all agree he was one of the greatest magicians ever to grace the stage.
And now, you will sing hymn number 35.
My child, you are possessed with a terrible evil spirit of lechery and sin. Satan has taken your soul, but I shall lay my hands upon your head and drive that evil spirit out and into one of his own kind. I shall exorcise the spirit of Satan. Out, evil spirit of lechery! Out! Return to your own!
Oh, Father, I feel a wondrous peace.
I think that's me out now, finished completely. It is said that seeing is believing. But if you see something and it's unbelievable, have you seen it? We'll see.
Please, may I have some water? Actually, I was talking to the waiter.
So, my pretty maid, you would spurn my advances.
Oh, no.
Accept the consequences. Ah, the Flying Scotsman shall be here in 8 seconds. Farewell!
Morning, madam.
Did you?
That's right. Oh, I think I can manage one extra today.
Seculorum Vitam Eternam.
As William Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage, and men and women are merrily players. And that's the thing I actually like about working here, because we have everything here. We have makeup departments, scenery, costumes. I guarantee you, an hour in this place, and you can become anybody in the past who you would like to be. Darcy, you are a fool to cross swords with me.
How so, my lord?
Because I will run you through like the pig you are.
I think not.
I'm not afeard of your reputation. The sword is no stranger to my hand. Before this day is out, you will be food for the worms. So, 'tis a fight to the death. To the death.
Oh, Robin, this curse of the press of King John and his Norman lackeys making slaves of our people.
Aye. Would that our good King Richard would return to us from the Holy Land.
Aye, King Richard is sorely missed. But in the meantime, we continue our battle against the Normans. And with the help of my latest invention, we will succeed.
What's that, Robin?
An arrow with a magnetic head.
Magnetic?
Magnetic. As you know, magnetic head is attracted to metal. Look at that. See? Hey. So what I gotta do, if any Norman dog enters round here wearing a suit of armor or chainmail, fire the arrow, and the arrow is homed in. It's attracted to the metal.
Hey, that's a wonderful idea, Robin.
I'll show you. It's a quick demonstration of how the arrow fires. And believe me, it's a very true, beautiful sight in flight. There you go. Hey, Robin! It's King Richard returned to us from the Holy Land. Our noble King Richard! How brave he looks in his suit of armor. Hail, King John. Hail, King John.
I thought I'd find you here.
It's nearly noon, Mary Lou.
Oh, please don't do it, Luke. Please don't.
A man's got to do what a man's got to do, Mary Lou.
But why does it have to be noon?
Because I figure I got the best chance at noon.
Oh, Luke.
stories that I tell, the ones that I get most enjoyment from, are what we call spooky stories. And tonight I would like to tell what we call a spooky story, but in doing so I would like to create an atmosphere, and if I may, I'd like to ask for the lights to be brought down nice and low, nice and dark. And I would like to ask that camera to come closer, please. There's nothing which interests anybody more than the darkness, because it creates its own atmosphere. And tonight I would like to tell you a story about a young man on a walking holiday in Transvalia. And he walks, and he walks, and as he walks, the sun begins to set, and the darkness begins, and the owl. And in the distance, the howl of the werewolf. And he begins to get cold, not from the night, but from a sense of evil that might be about. And eventually he comes to an inn, and he's very glad to find the warmth and the sanctuary of that inn. And he steps in and he said, "Good evening." I said, "Good evening. What would you like?" He said, I would like a glass of the local beer. And they pour it, and just as he's about to drink it, they say, "The wolves are coming! The wolves are coming! Everybody down below into the cellars." And they all run down into the cellars. And they shut the trapdoor, and they wait for 20 minutes. And then they say, "The wolves have gone." And they all go back up. And when he gets back, his glass of beer is empty. And they said, "What would you like?" He said, "I'll have a glass of beer, please." Gets the beer, and just as he's about to drink it, the same cry, "The wolves are coming! The wolves are coming!" And down they go back into the cellar. They close the trapdoor. And they wait for a further 20 minutes, and when he comes back again, his beer is gone. And he thinks to himself, "These people, what sort of a fool do they think I am?" And they said, "What would you like?" He said, "I shall have a beer." And he gets the beer, and he's just about to drink it, and they go, "The wolves are coming! The wolves are coming!" He said, "Fine, let the wolves come. You go down to the cellar. I shall wait for the wolves." And they all go down into the cellar. And he sits there. And the wolves come. And they eat him, and they drink his beer. Of all the characters, and there are many characters in what we call the stories of horror and fear, they all have what we call a central character. But I have one favorite character, and that is a character who lives by night and sleeps by day. And when the sun sets, he arises, he is out, he is about, he searches, he seeks, he finds his human victim. He changes from creature to vampire bat. He descends upon the neck of the victim. He drains them of the very life's blood. They die. He lives. But the only thing, he must be back before sunrise. Ladies and gentlemen,